Warning, the stories you're about to hear are detailed accounts of shenanigans, pranks, and some mistakes that are meant to replicate the sort of discussions that veterans have when they reunite over a cold beverage and do not depict the professional daily actions of the military at large. We hope to make you laugh, but not to disrespect our proud men and women in uniform. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Cammo Comedy, where we take a humorous look at the lighter side of military service. We got a big show for you today, but before we jump into it, if you like what we're doing here, give us a subscribe, give us a follow, whatever they call it on your podcasting platform. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating, write us a review, as that makes us more relevant in the algorithm and boosts the overall visibility of the show. But word-of-mouth advertising is just so powerful, so if you tell some friends, I will love you forever. Okay, let's jump into the show. I am your host, Aaron Wolf. Just as a friendly reminder to the audience, we put out a new show every single Monday, so make sure you give the notification bell a nice tap. Give it a nice tap so you don't miss a show. Also, we are doing laughter therapy here on this show. We got a lot of military members who struggle with everyday life after service, and we're just here to share a laugh and remember the good times. Joining me today is the man who taught me the bee-hole is the peephole to the soul, and mine is very scary. I've been told it looks like somebody spilt a can of beefarino.
What the fuck did he just say?
Somebody spilled a can of beefaroni.
Who taught you that?
Call sign Footloose. Footloose, thanks for being on the show today, man.
His scoutmaster taught him that.
Gross.
You're still on that one?
It's his Chef Boyardee. Nice.
Man beef. Also joining us
Don't do it.
Yeah, now I'm hungry.
Oh, God.
like a spilt can of beefaroni. Hungry for that
That
now?
would really hit the spot.
Oh, God. I fucking hate you guys.
Also joining us today is the man who is totally muffed out. He's got all kinds of muff pelts on his hat. Call sign Cheeks. Cheeks, thanks for being on the show today, man.
Nope.
Totally muffed out.
Nope. Nope.
We're making that a thing.
Nope.
It's like Davy Crockett hat. you
Yeah.
know?
Don't like that.
With many pelts.
It's a muff pelt.
Muff pelts.
I want to see your internet search history.
You do not want to see.
God, you sound like the agent that just left.
Joining us today, the man who invented internet incognito mode, Aaron Wolf.
That actually does not work. Don't ask me how I know that.
Oh, my God.
The man who constantly gets kicked out of the library.
Yeah. What the fuck? Jesus
I was
Christ,
asked
guys.
to leave the bank.
Don't forget to spread cheeks and not hate. And don't forget to spread cheeks and not hate on our socials. I'm
Yeah.
on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, and you can check me out on Aaron Wolf at Cammo Comedy on X, and we also got a Cammo Comedy Rumble account, so just search for Cammo Comedy on Rumble. That's 2 M's in Cammo. Of course, you guys are listening to the show, probably know that.
You can find Buttons and Dome Piece also on OnlyFans. That's how we're funding the show, actually.
They just shake their titties around, call them only yams.
Shake their smashed potatoes.
But to be fair, though, like, their anuses are a lot more pure than other people's because it
Negative.
sounds like...
Buttons was an infantryman. That thing is blown out.
It's like punched lasagna.
Yeah. Looks like a flat tire. All right, are you guys ready for my first story?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right. So this story is going back to late 2001.
That's almost in the 1900s.
Almost, but not quite.
Just outside.
So we've got ourselves a Marine story.
Yes.
And we're going to call these two, there's 2 main characters here, and we're going to call them Tango and Cash, right? And it's important to understand what the personalities of Tango and Cash are. I mean, they're Marines, so we know they're going to be like alpha types and tough guys and stuff like that. However, the standout here is definitely Cash in this story, right? So let me set the table exactly what, kind of fills out his personality. So this guy is a Marine. He's a military police. He's a canine handler. And on top of that, he trains in MMA, and he was actually in the process of going pro back in 2001.
Jesus Christ.
So this guy...
My dick's hard already. You could have stopped halfway through.
Stop. My penis can only get so erect.
My wife doesn't know him, but she's left me for him already.
So, like, this guy was such a badass, right? Like, every time that Tango and Cash went out, Tango knew that he was going to have a great time because Cash was there. On one such occasion, not this story here, but on one such occasion, they went to an MMA fight, right? It was a professional fight. And one of the fighters actually got into a fight and beat up one of the bouncers. Not really sure exactly what the situation was, but Cash beat up that fighter.
A bouncer at an MMA fight is like a lifeguard
At the
Olympics for swimming. What are you doing, man?
But it doesn't stop there. That same night, Cash hooks up with some chick on the hood of his car in the parking lot and then takes a second girl, a different girl, home and hooks up with her at home.
Oh, yeah. So this Hash did this, not Tango, the guy that my wife's leaving me for?
This was the MMA fighter dog handler guy, Cash. He did all of this.
It is the guy who your wife left.
Oh, okay. I got the names mixed up.
You were hoping it wasn't
me
him.
for both of them. In my head, at least.
So needless to say, like, Cash is a tough guy. He's a ladies' man, good looking, you know, well spoken, all that kind of stuff. And all that stuff is important to understand for this story that's coming up, right? So Tango and Cash, they're going out to an MMA fight at a casino in SoCal in late 2001, right? Tango accidentally pulls into like where the valet parking is, whatever. He's like, oh, fuck, well, whatever, we're already here. We just want to get inside, you know, like the line's already getting pretty long and things like that. So like, fuck it, whatever, just throw a couple bucks at the valet and have at it, right? So Tango and Cash, they pop out and they're walking into the entranceway of the casino. Well, Tango gets a few steps in and he realizes, fuck me, I've got my pocket knife on me. So he's like, well, let me hurry up and get back to the car. I'll stash it there because I don't want to be taking my pocket knife into a casino, right? So he hurries up before the valet pulls off. He stashes the pocket knife. Now he's about 15 foot away from Cash, right? And they see some these three very attractive young ladies, right? And Cash is like right on them. Like he's going right at them. And so
Locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
Did you know that I'm a Marine and an MP and I have a canine and I'm really hot and I fight people for a living?
Exactly. So
also, God loves me and my cock's 12 inches long.
Oh, and here's my friend Tango.
well, I mean, that was the thing. Like a lot of the times when the ladies were loving on Cash, you know, the ones that kind of missed out would bounce off and, you know, Tango would get to scoop him up. And he wasn't like too shy to admit that or anything like that. He's like, whatever.
Table scraps.
Exactly.
Tango's hot by proxy. Like, you know how you have that hot friend you hang out with?
Exactly.
Are you an MMA fighter too? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More of an enthusiast. I watch it on TV.
Cash is making a beeline over to these very attractive young ladies, right? And you've got Tango that's about 15 foot behind. He's just kind of like following in tow. Well, they get into the casino. Right about that time, Cash like stops what he's doing and he starts marching in the other direction over toward like the front desk. And Tango's standing there like thinking to himself, he doesn't say it, but he's thinking to himself, he's like, hey, asshole, the attractive women are over here. What the fuck are you
Going
doing?
the wrong way.
I need you.
So as Cash passes Tango, he blurts out, that's Jizzy McSprinkletits.
Get the fuck. What?
That's just what I'm going to call her. You'll see why here in a couple of seconds.
Jizzy McSprinkletits.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you don't know who that is?
I can't believe he would call my wife that.
So Cash blurts out, like, that's Jizzy McSprinkletits, and goes right over, like, to the reception desk, and he picks up a pamphlet, and he asks to borrow a Sharpie. And then he comes back over, and leaving Tango there, like, really confused about what's going on, because he's like, I don't know who the fuck that is. I've never seen this person before in my life. And mind you, Cash is a ladies' man. Like, he doesn't get shy or anything else like that. He goes up, introduces himself, and asks for an autograph, right? And it sounds like Jizzy could not have been a cooler person.
Don't fucking use it like it's a first name.
It's absolutely a first name, right? So Jizzy could not have been cooler. Right? She introduces the other younger two ladies. Jizzy's about in her early 30s, and she has two other ladies that are like early 20s. And at this time, Tango and Cash are both in their early 20s. So like they chit chat for a little bit. Jizzy takes the pamphlet and kind of puts it against Cash's chest, and then she goes ahead and signs a nice autograph, right? And then gives it back to him, everything like that. They kind of chit chat for a second there. She asks, like, hey, if you guys have seen the bar, like, we haven't seen it here. And Tango has to say, because Cash is just so starstruck and like jaw-dropping. Cash is just so starstruck, he can't really speak right. He's so shy. And Tango's never seen Cash like this before. So he kind of answers for him and is just like, well, hey, if we find out where the bar is, we'll definitely let you know. But if you'll excuse us, like we've got a fight to get to and the line's really stacking up. We got friends in there, right? So he excuses Cash and himself and they go over and get in the line for the MMA fight, right? As they get in line, he's just like, dude, I got to know. Who the fuck is that? Right?
It's Jizzy McSprinkletits.
And exactly, Cash's like, dude, that's Jizzy McSprinkletits. What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, who the fuck is Jizzy McSprinkletits?
He only knows her legal name, Jizzica.
What turns out, Jizzy McSprinkletits.
Stop saying it!
Was a porn star, right?
See,
You don't say.
She was a porn star, and Cash was really into her. Now, a little bit about Cash's background.
A lot of people were.
Well, yeah. So when Cash was a young man, his very first sexual experience was with a redhead, and Jizzy McSprinkletits was a nice, attractive redhead, and he was just all in. He knew everything about her. So he's just unloading. He's like, yes, Jizzy only has sex on camera with her husband and other ladies, hence the other two ladies that were working for her that were introduced to those two, and just going on and on about like her career and this and that.
She's so
like, wow,
pure.
Yeah.
you know a lot about this porn star. He's like, I've never fucking, I don't know who that is. Like, whatever. Okay, cool. As they're sitting in line, like, Cash is just unloading all this knowledge that he has built up about Jizzy and her career. And she's actually moved on from like actually starring in porn. And now she produces and directs porn and all that kind of stuff and started a company.
God.
Like he was all in knowing about it.
What
and
a
then
weirdo.
Tango kind of looks at Cash and says, well, she signed that thing across your chest. And then he gets all like starstruck. He's like, you're right. She did. And he's all like happy about it right now. He said this was the most embarrassed he ever was for his like ultra alpha guy. Never seen this guy in his life be intimidated by a lady before until right now. So they get in there. It turns out that Jizzy, like her company had sponsored one of the fighters who lost, and she got pissed and stormed off out of the VIP section, which they were not in, right?
Yeah.
Peasants.
But one of the other things that happened too throughout this night was some of the guys that they were meeting there actually had like some extra ladies that they were intending to kind of hook up with Cash and Tango and stuff like that. And Cash was so starstruck, he couldn't have given a shit about these other ladies, right? Like he was just so starstruck from that night. Even when one of them flashed her tits at the stoplight going to Denny's after the fight. Now, right there,
What the fuck is that, Denny's?
So we're just going to glaze by this sentence.
right there, that's who I'm going for. Right? That spells F-U-N. You know what I mean? That spells fun right there.
What is this life these people live?
I can't wrap my head around this story.
What do you mean? Be more specific.
This shit never happens to me.
He's so starstruck
You're
by
not Cash,
this porn star.
who is married.
Yeah, who he's so in love with because she's married and only sleeps with her husband
I don't know if he
and
was,
other women.
Which, by the way, I told my wife that she was hot enough to retire us both, and at this point, she's just fucking being selfish. So she needs to listen to this.
Well,
But he was not interested in the other skanks that came along.
how dare you, sir? You will respect a woman who flashes her tits at the
Classy
stoplight.
woman who's just flashing the stop sign.
No. Stoplight. Going to Denny's after the fight. That's a fun person.
You're not wrong.
But no, it was just, he was so starstruck. He knew everything about her career. He was a huge fan. And a lot of it traced back to the fact that his first sexual experience happened to be with a redhead. So he was like all in with the redheads. So Jizzy McSprinkletits, if you're out there, I salute you.
Good God.
That was such a ride.
That really was, man. And I was on board for all of it. Holy shit.
They had fun when they went out, right?
Yeah, I guess they did.
See, now that's who you should go out with. That's who you should be convincing to go out with.
Yeah. These are the guys we need to be taking out with us.
Yeah.
All right, so I got the next story.
What you got, man?
Boo.
Stop booing Footloose. You're not spreading love.
I'm telling you, I'm booing him from now on.
Spread booze and hate. That's your new
Hate and booze.
That's your new thing. You can take booze any way you want it.
So normally when you're in the military, your parents aren't always thrilled.
That's a fact.
For a number of reasons. They can be proud, but they're not always thrilled about your choices.
Sure.
Not necessarily because they have a problem with the military, but sometimes it's out of concern. They're worried about where you're going to end up. Obviously, it can be dangerous, what you're going to be involved in, what you could be exposed to, stuff like that. So a lot of guys who are in these kind of roles, and especially if they have worrisome parents, they kind of like to downplay their role as to what they actually do and get involved in, especially on a more regular basis of what they're doing overseas.
Yeah, your parents don't want to hear your cool guy stories.
Yeah. Most parents are not going to enjoy this podcast.
It's like the movie Zootopia when they're like, meter maid.
Right.
Parents are happy.
It's exactly like that's what they want. They want you to do something lame, not cool like we like to do. So this guy with his mom, he had said that she was always extremely worried about what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he was in a more combat-oriented role in the Army, so he was seeing a lot of dangerous stuff, seen some action when he was going on deployments.
Yeah, sure.
So anytime he told his mom he was getting ready to leave for a deployment, he would always like try and get his siblings to come over too, so they could make it real lighthearted and reassure that no, he doesn't do anything crazy. It's just simple stuff. She's like, well, what do you do? He's like, I stay on the base. I just shuffle paperwork around. It's nothing very exciting. I don't need to talk about it. But so I guess he's like, I go on this deployment. He was in northern Iraq, and around this time period, it was not a great place to be, believe it or not. So
imagine that.
He gets stationed it was a FOB, Forward Operating Base.
Right.
So the FOB used to be run by a previous infantry division, and they had some generic name for the FOB, so it wasn't anything crazy. It was just, a fun name that they came up with.
FOB battle.
Yeah. Well, funny you say that. The next group that came in was the first ID, who their call sign was like Danger 6, so they renamed it to FOB Danger.
Get the fuck out of here.
So this guy's got to call home and talk to his mom.
Why would you do that?
That's exactly what he said.
Because Danger is my middle name.
You can fucking get out of here too.
Quote Austin Powers.
Get out of your own studio, Aaron.
So he's sitting here. How the fuck am I going to tell mom? No, don't worry. I'm just at FOB Danger.
We don't really do anything here. It's non-consequential.
Paper cuts are real dangerous here.
Yeah, exactly.
Could get infected.
Oh my god.
You're trying to sound cool.
Yeah. So he doesn't want to lie to her, and he's got to tell her like where he is and everything. And she's just like, what? It's called what? And he's just, no, it's just the name of the group that was here. It's not actually dangerous. And mind you, said at this time period, this wasn't the cell phone era. You had to go to like a phone bank where you could call home from.
Right.
And so you're hearing everybody else's conversations in the background. You're hearing all the background noise. It wasn't really canceled out in any way. So he's explaining to his mom she doesn't need to worry. It's just called FOB Danger. It's not actually dangerous. And as he's explaining all this, in the background you just hear...
Oh no.
They're taking incoming fire.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Indirect fire that's being shot at their base.
Sirens going off.
Sirens start going off, the loud voice. Incoming. She's like, oh my God, what's happening? He's like, somebody fell. I gotta go. Just hangs up the phone and obviously like runs to the action here, tries to get to cover. But I'm sure he really sold that well to his
the classic downplay. Probably did not work in the long run. Like when you get your FOB changed to FOB Danger or whatever it was, and then you're taking incoming while you're on the phone with mom.
I don't think she bought it.
You're a liar. You're a liar. Fuck. Jesus Christ. That reminds me of my second deployment. I was on the phone with my daughter. And like you always try to downplay everything, right? So I'm talking to her. She's like, so Daddy, what do you do over there? And I explain to her how we're like, we're just nothing, honey. We're base security. We make sure the bad guys don't come on the base. That's all. She goes, oh. Well, that's not very hero-y.
Boo.
I was like, bitch.
You're supposed to be impressed with me. You're my own kid. I made you.
My friends are never going to be impressed now.
Yeah. Nice. She's just like, that's not very hero-y.
Nice.
So now I have a complex.
Now?
We're sorry, Cheeks.
So our next story is going to be a Marine story, and this is the one that was written in on social media.
Yes. Slid into your DMs.
Slid into my DMs.
Yikes.
So, like I'd said, this is going to be a story about Johnny Long Don.
Yes.
Okay?
That's really his name?
Yep.
On his birth certificate, it says Johnny Long Dong.
So, Johnny was a Marine, and this happened about a decade and a half ago in Afghanistan. Johnny was a 50 cal gunner, and the truck he was assigned to was a MATV. All right, it's a MRAP all-terrain vehicle, giant, huge tires. If you're not familiar with them, and there's not a lot of space in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So we've explained it before on the show, where the Max Pro is kind of like the combat Cadillac. It's got more space in the back. It's almost like a big box on wheels. Well, the MATV is an all-terrain vehicle, so you just have the 4 seats. You got your driver, your assistant driver, who's the passenger, and you got your 2 dismounts in the back, and then you've got your gunner turret platform like in the center. Well, it's so tight in there that if you're in the dismount in the back and like you put your arms at your sides, your hand will be resting on the gunner platform.
Yeah.
So everything is super, super tight quarters, okay? And that's important to know for the story.
Okay.
So on this particular deployment, there was this smoke show of a Marine. Her name was Michelle.
Oh, her.
Her. Yes.
Damn it.
I'm lost.
See, I'm not interested.
I'm out. Well, I'm going to call her Shelly, all right?
What's up, Shelly?
So Shelly was on this particular patrol set, and she was going to be the A driver, so the assistant driver in the front passenger seat for the mission.
Right.
All right. Like I said, she's a smoke show. Johnny said that all the Marines in their entire platoon were just dragging their dicks through the dirt trying to get this girl, right? Just everybody's trying to get with this chick, super hot.
Of course.
So are we talking like actually hot, or are we talking like, quote, Marine hot?
Like a 210-2.
Yeah.
Well, look, Johnny said she was hot. And it's all about perspective.
She didn't have a hunch like the other female Marines.
How dare you, sir?
So Shelly looked like Quasimodo, but Johnny said she was hot.
Her hands weren't super calloused yet.
I've been talking to Johnny on social media, and he says that I'm basically an A-list celebrity, so we know his standards are real fucking low.
Wait till he sees you in person.
I know. So Johnny's super excited because now he gets to spend a few days with the hot chick, right?
Nice.
Like, who wouldn't be excited about that? And you get to be the 50 cal gunner. Bitches love gunners.
Yeah.
Right? It's like being the drummer in a band. Right? the gunner's really the...
Nobody likes the drummers in the band. Nobody like Ringo Starr.
It's more the bass player they're into.
The Atolls.
Travis Pastrana.
the motorbike guy?
Yeah, that guy. Now, who was the drummer that fucked Pam Anderson? Tommy
Lee?
Tommy Lee, that's who I was thinking
He's
of.
different.
He's different.
Yeah.
That was Motley Crue.
Yes. So anyways,
Sorry.
Now we've completely derailed
so
your
Johnny's excited because he gets to spend a few days with the hot chick, right? Who wouldn't be
Right.
fucking excited about that? And he's a 50 cal gunner, so he's like the star of the show in the truck, or so he thinks. Well,
Uh-oh.
they're halfway through this mission, and Shelly's like, hey, I gotta pee, guys. Well, there's nowhere to fucking pee. She can't just piss in a bottle. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why not?
I don't know if you guys know this. Girls don't have wieners.
See,
You said she was a Marine, though.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, I got the names mixed up. Her name's Johnny Long Dong. So Shelly's like, hey, I gotta pee, but she doesn't want to like show the goods off to everybody, right? And like I said, this is
Understandable.
tight fucking quarters.
Yeah.
So Shelly and Johnny like configure this thing so that he can have her stand in the gunner turret platform, and it's not like it's smooth roads over there either, right? So she's got to hold on to stuff while she's bracing, and he has to hold this towel or whatever it was he was using up, and hold the bag for her to pee in.
wait, she peed in a bag?
Yes.
And not just staying in the front seat.
just-
She thought the turret was going to be
Dude,
a better...
if you've never been in a MATV, like there's less space in a MATV than there is in a Humvee.
Just for my own clarification, were they driving down the road while this was happening, or were they like paused?
They were driving.
Oh my God.
So they couldn't even stop. They
Yes.
couldn't just pull over to the gas station.
Yeah. So they're driving. They're like mid-mission, right? Gunner comes down. Shelly goes up, and she's holding on to the turret, like making sure she doesn't lose her balance and stuff. And she's squatting down. Johnny is holding up this barrier, and so he's hiding the goods from everybody in the truck, and he's holding this bag. Okay. He says the next thing that
That's
happens.
being a battle buddy right there.
For real.
When you're holding your like,
Say she's
piss
not even
bag
holding her own bag. He's got to hold the
Well,
curtain and the bag.
Well, because she's got to hold herself up in the turret, like she's like squatting down and holding herself up in the turret, so that when they're hitting these bumps, that she's not losing control and pissing on everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
see that I'm for.
Yeah.
That I would sign.
Yeah,
We
we
got to
know.
pay extra for that.
So, Shelly's sitting there squatting down, and she starts to do her business. Johnny says the next thing he feels is something drop into the bag.
Oh my God, no. Oh. Oh.
This is taking their friendship to a whole new level.
So he feels something drop into the bag, and he's like, "Oh no!"
What was that?
That better have been a kidney stone.
He says for the next 3 minutes, this chick takes the dirtiest, nastiest shit that he has ever experienced out of anybody in his fucking life. Everybody in the truck starts dry heaving.
What did this girl
As,
eat?
as he's holding the bag, he feels a few more drops in it. Everyone's like,
Oh my God.
he's holding up this curtain and the bag, so his face is like less than a foot away from the fucking the shit bag.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
She finally finishes up. He has to hand her napkins to clean up her tinkle.
Gosh.
Yeah, she just had to
Tinkle.
pee.
Tinkle is not the like top priority here.
So he's handing her napkins. She gets all cleaned up, and he's sitting there like holding on to everything still. She takes the bag, hucks it out into the middle of Afghanistan, crawls back into her A driver seat, and pretends like nothing fucking happened.
Like she didn't just take a hippo shit in the middle of the Matt V.
I'm sure she has a little tail too.
Okay, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been in those trucks before, but they're sealed. Okay, it's not like they're getting air into the. You can't just roll the windows down, right?
God.
So all that stench stayed in that truck for hours, and the only way it could go to escape was out the turret where he was.
Oh no!
So he's
She's
just
straight
breathing
hotboxed
it in.
everybody.
Just bacon brownies.
Oh man.
Letting it soak into the walls.
Look, in her defense, like, how else are you supposed to act after you take a Mondo shit in front of everybody? You know what I mean?
Oh,
But she
man.
just prefaced, I just have to pee. Can you hold this bag
All
for
she
me?
said is, "I have to go to the bathroom."
Oh, okay.
She was just, you know,
I guess slightly better.
she was just barking out stinky whispers to the whole fucking Matt V.
I guess it's one way to like establish yourself as unfuckable to all the Marines.
These are Marines here now. Like, I don't know. They'll be turned off for about like
God.
Johnny said after that he could not look at her the same. He's like, "Nope, any like hint of attractiveness that you had is now gone."
Oh, it's in that bag that you just tossed into the road.
But god damn it, I love that story.
Oh,
Johnny,
my God.
thanks for messaging me, man. That was fucking funny.
that was
Reach out to your
rough.
other Marine buddies. I'm sure they've got some doozies as well. Send them in, dude. Thank you.
nice. Are you guys ready for my next story?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this story takes place in the late 1990s, right? And we have ourselves a Navy story.
All right.
Hey.
So we've got, let's see here. Let me set the table, right? So this story takes place in the late 1990s. It's at a deployed location in the Middle East. It's on an Air Force base, but it's an Air Force base that's shared with the host nation, right?
Okay.
So now what this did for these Navy guys is this actually provide them with a little bit of an upgrade for a chow hall. However, their quarters weren't the best, right? So what happens is this was an air crew, right? So these guys had to stay in tents. Now, I guess their officers had like really nice barracks and stuff like that they got to stay in, but for this deployment, they had to stay in these tents. Now, let me describe what the tents were like, right? So you had 5 people to this tent, and they had like plywood walls, and there was an AC unit that was set up that made things a little bit more comfortable, but there was just a lot of gaps in this plywood. You got a little bit of privacy out of the stuff, but like it didn't go all the way to the top of like the roof.
Oh, no.
So like if you were in a different room, then like all of the light just poured over if you were trying to get some sleep or something like that.
It's like sleeping in a bathroom stall.
Yeah, it's like, and like
You're kind of covered, but not really.
it sounded from the description that they had a little bit of like individual privacy. So they had like doors that had like little latches on them and things like that. They had a little bit of like closet space and stuff like that I think had been built out with some of this plywood. And then they had like a little day room area where they had like a couch, a television, and a couple of chairs set up, right? And also, one of the other things to note here is the power situation. So I guess their power was a little bit spotty. They always either had flickering or they would have like temporary blackouts for a couple of minutes. Like if the power would just frequently just go out, you wait a couple of minutes and then would come back on, right?
Refill a generator.
Right. Something like that. So it was just kind of commonplace. And the only, like this was in the Middle East, so there was no drinking allowed, no adult entertainment. So the only thing they really had was like the military cable channel where they would like, they would replay sports games from back home, maybe a couple hours later. So it'd be like a little bit more in tune with their time zone. And they would replay movies and stuff like that, right?
So they weren't able to like Google Jizzy McSprinkle Tits.
Well, this was in the 90s. This was in the late 90s, so there wasn't a ton of Googling that was going on at that time. But
Alta Vista.
the other thing that's important to note here is like when you're staying in the Middle East, in the desert, in the tents, it's always important to make sure that you are very diligent about shaking out your boots and your bedding and stuff like that. Like from what they said, they had like the metal rack beds with like a sleeping bag on it and stuff like that. And everybody was pretty good about just making sure they didn't just throw their foot into a boot because they had some pretty gnarly like scorpions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
They had some nasty centipedes, and they were also pretty famous for wolf spiders. Right? Now, one guy on their team, I think they said that this guy was an ordnance guy. This guy was infamous for snoring and farting, right? Like this guy always had gas. He was always playing the mud trumpet.
Hello, you're disgusting. The mud trumpet? Hang on, wait, what?
You were just going to let that one slide.
That one took me a second.
Yes, he was always playing his mud trumpet. They said like he could even have like a sip of water and whatever would give him really bad gas, right? But that's kind of as an aside.
That man has a disease.
He was playing his old stink whistle.
Oh, right?
You know what I mean?
It was a slide whistle.
But with his anus.
Oh, God.
But
It's like cricket legs rubbing together.
there was another guy on this team who was like, he was a country boy from the Midwest, right? He was big, strong guy. And we're going to call this guy Chevy, okay?
Nice.
So one night, Chevy and some of the other guys were up watching the game, right? It was later in the evening. They were just kind of like blowing off some of the steam. And the guy that was infamous for farting, he was sawing logs, right? He's just off in his little rack area and he's fast asleep. Well, Chevy gets a little tired and he's like, all right, guys, I think I'm going to turn in for the night, whatever. So he goes into his own little private space and they can kind of hear him settling down. They hear like the metal rack and all that kind of stuff like that. And he sits there and settles down. You can kind of hear it. There's not a ton of privacy that's going on.
If it's open on the top, all that noise I'm sure is carrying over to everybody.
There's just not a ton of privacy that's going on.
Don't do that now. Don't start this.
I hate you guys.
So they hear Chevy settle down, right? And then 2 minutes after he settles down, the lights go out. Now, like we said before, usually the lights were a couple of minutes at a time. So they were just like, all right, they were watching the game. They're just kind of waiting it out. As soon as the lights go off, maybe a couple of seconds after the lights go off, they hear this very high pitch, blood curdling, like a little girl.
God.
And they hear fucking Chevy just like get roused out of bed. And he's coming. He's like,
He's scared of the dark.
well, he comes barreling out of his area. He throws the latch open and he's fucking like screaming like a little girl, running outside, and everybody that was out in the little like common area and everything sitting on the couch watching the TV is like, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? So they're able to finally like get outside. Like everybody chases Chevy outside to find out what in the fuck was going on, right? And Chevy's kind of coming back to reality and everything like that. And he's just like, man, when the lights went out, I felt this big thud right on my chest. And so they're like, all right, well, let's go back into your rack and find out what the fuck's going on.
No,
right?
I'm not going back in there.
So
Guess we got to burn the tent down.
So they go back over there and they're starting to go through everything, and they pull up a boot and they see a half smashed Mondo huge wolf spider. That, from the best that they could figure, it was like sitting on the ceiling, and then when the lights when the lights went out, that bitch just dropped right on his fucking chest. 2 seconds after this guy's like settling into bed, right?
Oh my God.
So he like very reasonably freaked the fuck out, right?
Oh my God.
Because those things are nasty. But as they're figuring all this stuff out, they find out that Chevy's like blood-curdling, girl-sounding scream woke up half the camp. Like people are coming around and be like, hey, is there a little girl around here in trouble? And they're like, oh, no. Hey, check this out, man. Like, and when they hear the story, like there's a little bit more sympathy. But like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm not cool with fucking humongous, like hand-shaped spiders falling on my chest when I'm trying to fucking sleep.
You know, in the middle of the night when it's dark and you have that much weight all of a sudden landing on your chest, there's only a few things that could be, none of which are good.
No, Shelly's hovering over top of you.
Especially not in the Middle East. Because they just have some of the gnarliest insects over there that you just don't want to fuck
That
with.
reminds me immediately of Home Alone when the tarantula gets put on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you know that scream that he does is actually legitimate fear?
Didn't they not tell him that they were going to do that? And then they fucking did it?
Yeah.
Incredible.
I would not be cool with a fucking tarantula being put on my nose.
Oh.
That would suck.
Oh my God.
Oh, Chevy?
Yeah. Shout out to Chevy, man. Like, hey, look, no shame in that one. Like, I'm with you.
Pussy.
Like, so after all this scream, did fucking the dude who's always shitting his pants in the middle of the night, did he just not even wake up because he's just so used to noise? And
I don't know that I got that specific detail, but like since he woke up half the camp and everybody was coming around, be like, hey, where's this little girl that's like screaming? Is she okay?
I thought you were gonna say they went back in the tent and that dude's still snoring and shitting himself, like didn't even wake up to the scream.
It's always those guys
that woke up the camp.
Oh, if I get, this is my own speculation here, but I bet you that motherfucker woke up. Like, it sounded like Chevy was just not having. He was a big fucking dude. He's shrieking like you can't, like a fucking banshee over the moors.
It pushed those farts over to the edge that he actually shit the bed.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God, that's
yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, that is nightmare
Especially
fuel.
in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Especially like right after the lights go out. You know what I mean? And it's
Instantaneously.
Well, humans have evolved their eyesight to be like your number one sense for you to identify and figure out what's happening. So you just feel as soon as the lights go out.
and then find out that that's a motherfucking spider.
Yeah, just walk. That'd almost be worse for me walking in and finding it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it was. I was
Here's
going to
the other
die.
thing. Just imagine if that happened like 1 hour later after he fell asleep. Would
He may not have woken up.
Yeah.
Would have laid
Would that
eggs in
thing
his
be-
ear.
Oh, God. You had to go.
Hopefully he didn't sleep with his mouth open.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awesome story. Thanks for sharing. Hey, thanks for checking out the Cammo Comedy Show Podcast. If you like what we're doing here and you want to participate in this community, there are many different ways you can contribute.
First and foremost, tell someone about the show. Word of mouth advertising is very powerful, and we really appreciate you helping us out.
If you have any funny military stories of your own, or know somebody who does, with their permission, of course, you can contribute those stories via email at stories@cammocomedy.com. That's stories, STORIES, at CAMMOCOMEDY.com. And if you're not too good at the internets, drop us a voicemail at area code 531-222-6146. That's area code 531-222-6146.
Yeah, and if you want to interact with us throughout the week, hit me up on my socials, Facebook and Instagram. Just look up # Cheeks.
We have a lot of big plans for this show. In building this community to support veterans, we will announce here soon. So stay tuned. All right, I'm going to go enjoy a nice pasta salad with a little mayonnaise later.
Okay, first of all, mayonnaise?
Why do you always have a problem with the way I talk?
There's a way you're supposed to say the word, Aaron.
Mayonnaise?
That's not it.
Panaz.
That's not fucking it, Aaron. That's not...
Pawn Star.
Best you could do
You
was
guys
a
ever seen
signature
that
on
show,
his
Pawn
chest.
Stars? It's fucking awesome.
I have this priceless World War II rifle.
Oh yeah,
I like to watch.
yeah, I like that.
Everybody has an interesting chin.
That's why you watch it, for the chin.
Yep.
It's chinema.
I always just say, yeah, it's cinema. I always sit there and imagine what my finger would feel like if I was just like batting at their chins around.
Oh god.
Is it like silly putty? Could I put some newspaper up against it, and then would it leave
The
It's like,
imprint.
it's like the thing that hangs down from the chicken beak.
That's called a waddle.
You would know.
I would know.
Like when you got chocolate pudding in your underwear, you'd run out of the room like Zoidberg.
Call that a pudding hammock.
That's what it was.
What are we talking about? What the fuck is going on
so
here?
many directions.
Yeah, this might be.
Talking about Jugs McGillicuddy over here, and then Jizzy McBooger Tits, and then next thing you know, we're talking about pudding hammocks.
Listen, nobody is named Booger Tits. What are you talking about? That's offensive. Who names themselves Booger Tits?
Yeah, that's not hot.
It's a pet name from my wife.
I wipe boogers on them.
Sprinkle Tits goes with a redhead because you got all the freckles.
Oh, that makes sense
Yeah,
now.
okay. I'm tracking now.
And plus, Sprinkle Tits is awesome to say.
That is fun to
Try
say.
to say it one time.
Not good. Nope, not doing it.
He just likes her legal name.
We have completely derailed the show, just so you guys know.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good line, though. Her legal name.
That was good. That was funny. Jessica? What the fuck?
I liked that one, but the rest, I was trying to just process.
You got the next story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting on you, fuckstick. Boo this man. Boo. Boo.
Not again.
Boom with me, folks. Boo. This was in an airport.